This is Jay McCallum, and today I'll be speaking to Kevin Narro, a reporter from the Valley Morning Star. Kevin, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Jay. It's good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a while, and thanks for having me.
Anytime. Okay, so let's start off. The first question is, how long have you been a reporter?
This is my 8th year being a reporter. I've done a couple of different things over those 8 years. I started as a play-by-play broadcaster for Cats TV here at Edinburgh. I spent a couple years with ValleyCentral.com after that. I started with the Rio Grande Valley White Wings. I spent 2 years there as their play-by-play guy, also kind of like their SID a little bit. After that, I joined 956 Sports for a few years. After 956 Sports, I started freelancing for the Monitor as a sports writer until a year ago. I got a full-time sports reporting position for the Valley Morning Star, and I also serve as a freelance reporter in the fall for various radio stations for the Saints, the Texans, and LSU.
Next question is, what interests you in being a reporter?
I've always liked sports, so I remember the story I always tell people is when I was a kid, I would always play, I think it was MLB The Show, or MVP Baseball, that was the name of the game. And I would lower the volume, and I would play the game with the Astros, and I would act as if I was the radio guy, and I would call the game as I was playing it. And since then, I always had fun doing it, and I've always loved baseball, and I've always loved sports. So when you love those things, you kind of have a niche for it. And then I don't know. I think that's really just what it was, just having a love for sports and liking it early on, and doing that with the video game, making it fun, and always wanting to be a voice of something. So.
Okay, so nowadays social media has a big impact on everything we do, even media and everything. So how has social media changed your profession?
Social media is huge these days. That's one thing that I brought to the table at my work at a newspaper, is that we can change the game a little bit by presenting the readers not only with print and reading, but with online stuff like on rgvsports.com. You can get the link there. You can post it on your Twitter. You can post it on your Facebook. And people will see it a lot faster because it's instantaneously, just like with your iPhone, everything's at your fingertips. You use Twitter as such a huge tool these days for these athletes. You can post a little video of them hitting a home run, a base hit, or scoring a touchdown. Little instant clips like that can go a long way, and parents will see that. Parents will follow that. On our Facebook page, I always upload photos of the kids from practice, from games, upload videos on some plays that they might have made during the game, or maybe even an interview, and you see the numbers grow, and you see the popularity of the Facebook page and how much more attention it gets because of just posting a picture of their kid. They want to see those things. So social media these days in the media is huge. It's everything, really. It's a big way to put out your brand, and then of course, since we're a newspaper, we're limited to what we can do as far as camera work goes. But these days with iPhones, they're just as good as cameras. So social media is a big thing, a big part in media these days. Like I said, the biggest thing that it's instantaneously. It's at your fingertips. You can upload scores, and you can see them right then and there, opposing having to wait for a score or wait for a highlight or something like that.
So what are some of the positive changes that you have noticed in the new age of media these days?
Well, it kind of that question is kind of answered in the one before with social media. The positive things is that everything is so instant these days, where people can find out scores through an app, through Twitter, through Facebook, through text, and I think a lot of people are starting to catch on with the new era of how things are done these days. So those are some positives as well.
So how can a person looking to break into a career in your field begin? Like, how can they start doing all this to get to where they want to be?
Networking is the obvious answer, getting to know people, but the biggest thing is listening to people, listening to what they have to say, taking all that in, listening to their advice, asking questions. Always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be too good to think that you don't have to ask questions. I still ask questions today. I still have a lot to learn, but that's one thing that's helped me is that you meet people, you build relationships with them, and you listen to them like Joe Bowling. He's my mentor, and he'll be the first to tell you that I still ask questions to this day, and that's the whole important part of it is you listen, you do what you're told, and you always want to be willing to learn something.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me this morning. It was a pleasure having you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. This is Jay McCallum signing off.